Hey, what's the Satori?
What's Satori?
Episode 24.
Is it episode 24?
Yeah. Well, we used to do them once every month, and now we started
But
picking
then I
up.
went missing.
I just stopped recording them for a while, and
Too
then
much shit to do.
pretty much, and then we came back. We were doing them once every month, hit and miss. Then once every few weeks. Now at the moment, we're trying to do them once every week, so we'll have something there for you every Monday.
And they going
Or
good.
Yeah, so we're up to 24, but I'm sure they'll pick up pretty quick over time.
Yeah, so nice sunny day.
Yeah,
Train
absolutely.
just finished, absolutely spent. Yannis flying around again.
No worries about Giannis, you and the long grips, man. I was saying it to him after the session. His arms are too long for his body.
That's the way to do it.
He's like that fighter. What was your man's name out with Street Fighter with the real long arms that you could never get near?
You were good at Street Fighter, I wasn't allowed to play, it was your PlayStation. Do you remember the day we bought the PlayStation down the centre and Ma had to go off and leave us sitting in the shop to protect the last one? Remember that?
No.
She only bought it because you were being good.
I got hit in the head too many times to remember that, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, yeah, long arms, long arm limbs, but they're good till someone passes the guard or two. Yeah. Pros and cons of long limbs. Anyway.
We're trying to do the timestamps on the What's the Story. Another thing is, obviously, we're talking to people are hearing the conversation and whatnot. We'd like to hear your part of the conversation too. So if people want to put any comments on, you might see this on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Any comments down in the comment section, we'll keep a note of it for the following week. If you've got any questions, topics you want covered, etc. So yeah. Who else? The big stuff coming up is stripes testing tomorrow. So like we were saying, it's going to be a little bit different because of all the restrictions and different times at the moment. But it's still good. Some people have been doing a lot of good work over the summer and
Leveling up bit by bit.
Leveling up, yeah,
It's
exactly.
nice to see the S1s into the S2s and the S2s making progress as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's already filling out, and then the teens, I'm progressing the teens. We're having a funny one with the teens. A lot of teens aren't teens anymore. But they don't want to go out with teens class.
Yeah.
They're bigger than me and John, 17, been training 4 or 5 years.
There's some big kids,
Big
like
kids.
some
And we're really lucky to have a coaching staff different. Like, so we have Jamie, who's like small, a lot of upside down guard and stuff. Then you have Paul, who's completely opposite, a heavier weight, and then you have
It's
yourself.
very heavy, alright.
If yourself, then you have yeah, so it's really nice when you're taking the teens out that you can be like, oh, I'll actually put you with this coach who's the same body style as you, same game.
Yeah.
And it almost getting a little what did you used to get?
Mentoring, almost.
What did you used to get when you went from primary school into secondary school? Remember the guard?
A baiting, was it?
A baiting, yeah. What? A baiting, but you used to get a guard. You remember you used to get like a ban on tea or something they were called. No? And
Like
used
the
to
brain
bring you
doctor,
around.
one that speaks Irish, man.
I had one of them at CCC and they'd be like, how are you getting on? And you'd be like,
I know, just someone who was surveilling
no,
you or
a third
something.
year. No, a third year.
No, that never
Right,
happened
well
to
anyway,
anyone else.
teens progressing on lovely anyway.
Yeah, no, they really
And,
are. It's a credit to our Patsy here. Doing great work with them. It really is,
It'll
though.
come to a surface in another. It's a slow burner, you know.
Yeah,
It's a slow burner.
providing that
I'll
the
get me
fucking-
credit. I'll get me credit. Don't worry, boy. It's gonna take another 20 years, I'd say. And I wouldn't worry about that. The credit will come.
Yeah, I hope those things go good. Like, they're very liable to just have a hissy fit, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
whatever's wrong with them. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
age they are or something.
Well, yeah, it's just coming from kids' classes. Yeah, you can have hissy fits and that, but in the adults' classes, it just isn't tolerated. So
Yeah.
have your hissy fit and.
Yeah,
It's
just
funny
like,
to
what
go
the
from
fuck
it-
is he doing?
Yeah.
Just
It almost
flapping around
goes
the
from
mats.
like a
like.
two-way coaching or a two-way kind of thing to you're into the adults class and it's just right, well, you're not in a good humour or whatever, just leave the gym, you know, or it's your problem now, so.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
And in turn, opening up a load of space in the teens class, so we're lucky to be able to, because the teens class, we have some really, really good teenagers there, and they're young, like some of them are 12, 13, 14, so we're able to give them a lot of attention now and get them coming through. So strike test for the teens is on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming,
Okay.
and you've had 1 month, and I know there's going to be serious hissy fits at this one. You've had 1 month, you have 3 guards, De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva, and X guard. If it's from De La Hiva, you need to know how to get the guard, basic sweep, and burn polo. If it's reverse De La Hiva, get the guard, kiss the dragon, the single leg, and the reverse tripod off it. And if it's X guard, get the guard, controlling the guard, single leg, and then the 3 sweeps from full X guard. If you don't know it on Wednesday, you're not getting your stripe. So
It's fair.
it's said now.
Yeah.
Tonight's the last night of rehearsal. We've been banging them out, and so many kids are like, our teens are like, oh well, like I was explaining to them the other night, I was like, if you're already getting down Monday, Wednesday in the gig, and we're doing 15-minute warm-up, 20 minutes technique, 20 minutes sparring, say. You're only getting 20 minutes technique a pop. So Monday, Wednesday, so you're getting 40 minutes technique a week. And then Friday is conditioning and no-gi, and Saturday might be sparring or whatever. You're not getting enough technique.
Yeah.
And then we're lucky to, on top of that, have so much space, so much dummies, so much coaches, so much rooms. The gyms are always open, so they can come down and drill.
Yeah.
So on Saturday, you can come do your drilling. On Sunday, you can come do your drilling. And that's how you get better at jiu-jitsu and pass your grading.
Yeah.
And it was just plain and simply, he said to me that, I was saying, it was a real, like, laying it down the way I just laid to you. It was plain and simply said to me, Giannis and Kai were at the desk the other day, yeah, well, Pat, look, I don't get out of bed before 11 on Saturday or something. I didn't respond. He says, well, do you want me to lie to you or tell you the truth? What would you prefer? And walked off.
Well, that's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Well, like,
I've heard far worse.
I've
I've heard far worse.
What I'm trying to say is, like, even like an hour, if you get your mate, come down, you can get in the cage, in the boxing ring, on any of the areas, even if there's a class on, there's more areas over besides the gymnastics now to drill. And just drill for 20 minutes, do a bit of sparring, every day, every other day. That's when you'll have a really, really good guard. It should be 4 hours.
Yeah,
but
you'll definitely get better, but even
But don't be coming
still,
up and being like, can't do the bare bolo, and I'm not able to bare bolo when you're only doing it 40 minutes a week.
but even still, like at the age that they are, if they mentally engage themselves in and pay enough attention, they will be able to do it in the 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you do more, you'll get more. But like
then
if
I'm
they're
saying to
thinking
them
about
all,
it and concentrating
they
on
should
it,
be
to
able to.
keeping notes on their phone or writing it down or something.
That's exactly it.
And
like,
when they're sparring, they're trying to do those moves then as well.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do it in the class, especially like you're doing prep classes before the grading, like to go
to
through
get
it all.
through the grading, like so.
But if you do more, which we have, like when you're reading that book, what was it? Not Bounce, Outliers. Yeah, that was one of the main things. Like small things like that, people who had access to more training, like the Spanish football team, like, oh yeah, it rains less in Spain, so they're able to play more football. Just simple things like that. Our gym is open longer, so they're able to do more training,
jiu-jitsu.
so they'll be better at jiu-jitsu.
And then,
If you don't make the most of it, like a lot of people didn't during the summer, some did, and it's noticeable how much better they got, and some didn't.
time will just pass you. But where I notice it, one or two, I won't name them, where I notice it in particular, one or two, is teenagers that we have, this is on that are really good, like, but one or two of the teenagers that we have play for high level football teams, and they're talking about going to England, so they train like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and have a match on Saturday, and maybe training on Sunday. They're playing at a high level, and they're still down here. You'll often notice those two in the cage when the classes are on. They're making their own little windows. Like your man has a match on Saturday morning, so he comes to Adults Open Mat, and it's just because he wants to get better himself.
Yeah,
it's not his mum or his dad pushing him down to get better. He's getting as much training in as anyone when he's playing semi-professional football.
Yeah.
And he's improving so fast. And that sort of thing you're talking about, state of flow, and being at he comes in, he's always smiling, he's always laughing. And it's just that wanting to train yourself. And then what you were saying there about notes, that's what I was saying to every single one of the teenagers, they all have phones. They're all on social media.
They all have the best phones.
They all have the best phones. Why aren't you looking up De La Hiva, Bolo when you're on the bus home or whatever? Why are you just looking at people dancing around on TikTok, doing nothing, like?
Yeah.
Doing nothing, wasting their time. I think that if you're using your phone for social media, and I'm obviously everyone's bad and everyone's whatever, and I do it myself. If you're not doing something positive or you're not generating revenue, you shouldn't be on it. So that what I mean is, if you're just looking at other teenagers and the new Air Max they have, it's just bullshit. Yeah. And if you're just watching videos of people jumping out of swimming pools and jumping back on, and they have, you know what I mean, like, it's just so stupid in my opinion. And I know everyone can just get on and be scrolling, but why don't you get onto YouTube, put in Burn Bolo used in competition jiu-jitsu, and you'll just get hours of videos on that and sit there and get your head melted on that. At least you're watching something progressive.
Absolutely, but it's something that like we've been pushing on over the last number of years.
I think the whole country has mental health, this, that, and the other, and it's just getting worse. Like TikTok sold the other day for 20 billion, and you said that you came out with your age and you were like, TikTok's the new one that's gonna pass Instagram. Everyone's going, shut up, man, making all those rocket videos.
Remember the abuse I got?
And here we are.
But you couldn't invest in TikTok. And don't move me camera, man.
It told you about long limbs, man.
You couldn't invest in TikTok because it was owned by the Chinese, but sure then do them nasty.
The Americans done them nasty, didn't they?
Yeah, got the money out of them. Because 20 billion is going to be worth so much more than that probably, if that's what it went for.
Oh yeah, and then notes on your phone. Like, I'm going to start saying to people, and the amount of people that I see as well, like teens especially, that are leaving their phone in their shoe, and after training they're running and it's like automatically open the phone, and I'm talking to them about the moves, and they're just scrolling to see what happened, and they're not even engaging what's on that. They're not even listening to what you're saying. Just like
But yeah, it is something that we've been pushing on for years now. But it's because it's such a new thing, and obviously there's so much money behind it.
So much geeks just sitting at home, like doing nothing, like with social media platforms.
The social media platforms have so much money behind themselves to influence people to do that.
Yeah,
it's such a new thing. We didn't have this growing up, like.
We
and then people have it, and then it's like something so new. It's like, I don't know, when they gave the Indians alcohol, they all fucking lost the plot because they weren't used to it, sort of thing. We're just not used to it. But I heard a real good one on Joe Rogan. Rogan. There was a guy. He was, I think he was an expert in the area. I can't remember what area he was in, but he said a really good thing, and it made sense. It was like, when all the processed food came along, people got diabetes because we're not ready for something so new. People's bodies weren't out for it. Looking like people have diabetes. And then he said about social media. He said social media is the processed information of our generation, and it's going to give you mental diabetes. So you have to be very careful about how you process your information. Hopefully something like, that's why Joe Rogan's so popular with the long form information. But other people have such want it so short and whatnot. So this hopefully will give you like a real conversation, one side, and then hopefully you can give your side of the conversation back in terms of leaving your comments and whatnot. But hopefully there's some realism to it.
And then last thing on the phones, notes. So I want to see more Tina, I'm going to say it more and more. If you're on your phone, it's taking notes of what you're doing after class, and you can save YouTube links in it. Like, we used to go around with pen and paper, and it'd be wet from soak and training, and it'd be lost in the bag, and it was more hassle to have notes than anything. Like, just make a good note clipboard on your phone. I was saying it to the Thai class as well, especially the teenagers and the kids. We're doing a block of six combinations. How many of them will be able to remember the first combination on week 6? Probably none. You need to rehearse the combos, you need to go down through them, you need to take note of them, you need to think about them, you need to think about the footwork. It's just,
once one or two
it's
people,
like studying, and like imagine you go to sorry, I'm really ramming this home, but like imagine you go to school and you're doing whatever, 8 or 9 hours in school. But imagine the amount they go home and they have to do more homework to be good at that subject. So you're doing 12 or 13 hours in a day on school. It's similar to martial arts. You do 2 hours or 1 hour, so you should be doing a half an hour study on it if you break it down.
Yeah, it's like that's a good example. School though. Think how long do we study Irish though? Like, and I can't speak any Irish.
Yeah, I remember just sitting down in me oral and just being like, and you want just start saying words in Irish, like Sears and Styra, Amok and Ish. Just random words, just enough to get you on up like, alright, grand 40.
Fair enough.
Do you remember Terry went to the Kale Talk?
No.
But that's actually not for this podcast. Our little brother, we have another little brother, we should get him on the podcast. He's a great lad in his moments, and he done a lot of time in the Kale Talk.
Oh god. But yeah, no, that point though, if you're learning something in school and you learn it for that long and you do that many hours on it and that much homework and everything, and you still can't remember any of it afterwards. Like, if you do something that you enjoy doing, like find something, that's why I was touching on it so much there the other week.
That's your man.
Alright.
That's your man.
Don't say that.
That's, oh my god.
If you do enough time, do that amount of time on something and you don't be able to use it at all, but if you pick something that you enjoy doing, the speed that you can learn it at, that's why I was saying that the guys in Jiu-Jitsu, if they're only doing 2 or 3 classes a week, they can actually get pretty good at it. Like, that's the reality of it. And all these other things, it's like they should want to keep notes on it. Like, some people aren't necessarily very good with notes, so they might draw a picture of it, or they might like watch videos on it or something like that. There's other ways of reinforcing that memory in your own mind and learning for yourself.
Lots of people do it different. I remember you used to love watching, and you still do love, and still do watch a lot of video of technique. And I didn't really like watching video of technique, it was a bit slow. So I used to just watch. It was a bit slow for me, and I am a bit slow. But I used to, and I need to get back to doing this more. I used to just put in competition matches, and when I seen it happening fast in competition, that'd stimulate me. And then I'd break the technique down, and in turn you'd end up seeing Rafa Mendes at the time, maybe that Hello Japan video or something, doing crazy stuff in that, and then trying to break down his technique slowly, or kind of reverse engineering it rather than the other way up. And that's the way I enjoy doing it. So you're starting watching it fast, then you're watching it breaking it down slow, and then learning to move that way. But everyone has to find their own learning pattern. And all you need is not even an able body, just a body and a bit of effort and attitude. And
I think a lot of it is the passion. Once they find what they're passionate about and enjoy doing, like imagine if you enjoy playing whatever Fortnite or something fun, imagine how long they play that for. If you find something like jiu-jitsu that you really enjoy doing and you spend that amount, that you go at it with that same sort of thing, it's going to be difficult not to be good at it, not to be very good at it. There you go. Anything else there?
No, just good weekend, good open mat on Saturday. We had sending down for the sparring. We got a couple of rounds in. Just same thing as always, like if it's going to be heavy sparring, have the right gear. Yeah, that's I'm not going to waste it. If you're coming for sparring, have the right gear. Don't be crying if you don't.
Last one, I have one topic there for the end. But beforehand, we mentioned last week the children's classes are now full for 5 to 8 and 8 to 12.
Yeah, there'll be posts on the website today on it, and yeah, I'd say just go off the post on the website, and then I'm going to share that on the Facebook later on today, because I'm not actually sure as of today. Janice is doing a breakdown on it there, but approximately beginner jiu-jitsu, intermediate jiu-jitsu, full. Even those who cancelled for the summer and were with us are going to struggle to get back into that program in September, which is today's the last day of August. Junior boxing, teens boxing, full. There's some space in the advanced jiu-jitsu if you have experience. So from previous training,
which very rarely will anyone will do that suitable for.
Teenagers jiu-jitsu, thankfully now there's space that we're moving about 10 teenagers on into the adults programs. Gymnastics, there's space, but it's growing as well, and we are going to cap that fairly quick, so there is some space.
I think it's something that people, like, it's unfortunately, well, it's something that was normal in other sports, like we were saying before about, say, the gymnastics, the waiting lists, the swimming, the waiting lists, but now more and more in society, like when you go, like I went down to a shopping centre the other day and the queues were unbelievable.
It's little America around here, like we've lived here our whole lives, 30 years, and although John left us,
had to drag you back from Perth or wherever you're hiding there at one stage, didn't I?
But we've really watched the area change over time. And we used to spend a lot of time in California for jiu-jitsu, which we were very, very lucky to do. You take it all with a pinch of salt at the time, but you can't even go in there now. But we just watched it grow around. We'd always kind of study when we were there. We'd visit gyms, visit cafes, and you'd always be learning as you're going. And I just really think it's like California, like almost no matter what time you come out, there's traffic. There's people everywhere. There's queues for everything.
Even just how it looks, the roads, and when the sun is shining, and the way it's laid out. With there's industrial estates beside the housing and stuff. It's very similar. And it's something that Tony said when Tony was here coaching us, fucking 10 years ago.
Longer.
Yeah,
it was probably actually 10.
In and around. He it was something he said. This has all the hallmarks of what California was like when he arrived in California, and it's going to go the same way as it. He just was in here a little bit early,
and then pricing seems to be going like
pricing is ridiculous.
Like even like I shouldn't be touching on this, but even like I think a can of Coke's $1.80 in the shop now. Do you know what I mean? And I know we use our Freddos and our can of Cokes as backward pricing in Dublin, but like Freddos aren't 20 cents anymore; they're 80 pence or something.
That's how you mark inflation.
Inflation's going mad. A handful of jellies outside the door screaming like. But it's true. Like you've changed. It's so hard to earn money, and it's so easy to spend it in this country.
Oh man!
Like if for you to make €50, you have to pay your tax on it. You have to do your hours. Like there's lads out there, say working in Spar across the road, and they literally do 8, 16, 24, 32. They do 6 or 7 or 8 hours for €50 in their account clean.
Yeah.
And think what you can spend 50, you can't buy anything like a spot on the petrol station these days, you know?
Yeah, and best of luck getting a gaff around here, like.
Anyway, steak in the heart, like.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous around here though. Yeah. But anyway.
Look, they're selling burnt out houses in Forlon for 170 grand, like.
Yeah, or something like that down in Whitestown. 170 something mad money.
But the positives is.
Jiu-jitsu. I'll touch on one here because it's something that comes up a lot over the years, and we've refined our position on it more and more. A lot of it is straightforward, obvious stuff, but I think it's good just to lay it out because just to say once, like we can always point back to it, just to make it normal, everyone knows what it is. It's all stuff that people should know, but when you go and say it to them, they're like, what are you talking about?
People just don't know how to act.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't know how to act. They don't know social boundaries. They don't know, like, if someone's having a conversation, you don't just enter into the conversation and overrun it. It's nice to talk to everyone and stuff, but like, general, like, on time for class, that's a starting point. Like, especially if you live, like, you're going to touch it, are you?
Yeah, I'll run down through them, then you add a few.
Then I'll start coming in as the hype man.
Yeah. How to earn your position within the gym?
Hard training.
Position within the gym is, yeah, like what I was saying, but like we have, and this will apply for if you want success outside the gym in a number of different areas. But inside the gym, the main ones that we look for is that you excel at the sport, you do the best you can to improve at the sport. The main method of doing so is training consistency and training effort. And then once you have that over a couple of years, have your volume in, is being smart about your training. Be a good person and be the sort of person that other people would want to train with. That's about it. And you can't go that far wrong. But here's how people do, and always do, go wrong. One, hiding behind excuses.
Oh man, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Because when someone gives you an excuse, you might not have even asked them why. They'll just come
you rarely ask them why.
And present this excuse.
Yeah. And you, like, it's like there's some sort of TV show going on in their head about what's happening. You wouldn't even be aware that they're whatever's going on over there. And then they come over to you with absolutely bananas excuses, like stuff you couldn't invent it. And
that's the reason.
That's the reason why they won't excel at the sport. Why they won't do the training. Why they won't consistently train. Why they won't train hard. It'll keep coming back to those few things we mentioned to start. People don't want to do them.
And it's always with the sob stories. It's like we're in a weird place here in Blanchardstown, but like all over that side is really well to do for. Not a problem heading towards the Phoenix Park and stuff.
Yeah.
All over this side, we have to work a little bit, or they have to work a little bit harder, and
absolutely
thing. And all the sub stories come from that side. You never hear anything coming out of Blanchardstown, deep Blanchardstown area. They just come in, they train hard, they'll have a knock. You've all these lads that are attending good schools, have a lovely family, a mum and dad that have been civil service for 40 or 50 years. Brilliant Christmases, brilliant summers, summer holidays out the door, 171 and 181 cars in the drive, and they're going around as if they're Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
Like, grow up, cop on. These Canadian, what's those shiny jackets?
Canadian Goose.
Man, if you're not allowed those jackets in this gym, like, leave it at the door. Yeah, if you have a Canada Goose jacket on, don't wear it in here, because it was probably €400 and your fees probably bounced in the last few months on it, and I'll just lose the plot and take the jacket off.
Yeah, I was, particularly if you're not from a rougher area. Like, I don't
Stop acting rough.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, like, people see right through it.
And then you get found out.
And you
get a hiding. And then you and it's happened a number of times to people.
But just tip along, like, and it all comes down to social media again. And then you have most of the lads that are coming, look at that for parking. You have most of the lads that are coming for really bad, like, not fair circumstances, or not fair whatever off that. And they just keep it quiet. You know, we've one or two lads in the gym that come from nothing. Yeah. And one in particular that I'm not going to name him, but he was in the old gym with us. He's 24 or 5 now. He came from swimming, and he's after educating himself, putting through himself through night school. Yeah. Just a good, positive chap to be around, and like, he really came from very little, you know.
Yeah, so like it's the guys that do train consistently from, and some of them are from a really rough areas, and you would never see them in any kit like that. Never hear them going on any sort of way. Never hear them mention any sob story. Although I know
there'd be lads getting shot in their estate, lads getting stabbed, there'd be houses getting raided left, right,
never hear none of it.
Never hear any of it. Then you hear of a traffic stop in the other area, and they're like, "Oh God, we're everywhere. You want to see it? We were all there." It's just like, lads, it's so sad. And I do think it was that welcome to the K that kind of made it all cool around here.
It did make it a little bit cool, unfortunately, yeah.
It's not cool.
No.
You're a fool. It's not cool, you're a fool.
Number two, we'll go on. Number two, we'll see this one a little bit. Trying to build yourself up off the back of other people. One person's going in, they're sparring light, I see this a bit with Kyle. Kyle's pretty good at striking. Say,
Good training partner.
Yeah, good training partner. He'll go in and he'll match your level. So say you're going 20-30% sparring, landing a few nice combos. Next thing, whoom, you try and knock him out. That's not sound.
That's not sound.
And then you're making, but not
because
only
Kyle could knock you out if he
No
wanted
problem.
in a second.
Yes.
But he doesn't.
Yeah. And also, not only will they do it, they'll wait until other people are looking. They'll look around to wait to see who's looking, then they'll try to take your head off, or they'll wait till you do with some sparring at the end of class.
When you're tired or whatever.
Or they will do something in, say, grappling. They might triangle some, or they might not have even done anything. But after class, they'll be like, oh yeah, that triangle's deadly. Yeah, I caught it on such and such. You didn't catch it on no one, and you're afraid to do a competition because you get found out. That's the reality of it. Not that I'm not like fucking.
There's a
Bruce
couple of
Lee or
people
some
in here
shit,
in the
but-
gym that like lads won't even want to roll with because the way they go on. And it's been like that for 3 years. But these lads don't compete. So how can you roll in competition in the gym every time you're here to the time that people are like, I'll go with him if I'm getting ready for the competitions. But your man doesn't compete. You have to take it. Like, it was grand for a month, it was grand for 6 months. But when it's 3 years, 5 years, you can't hide behind that anymore,
Yeah.
Stop rolling like it's competition in the gym if you're not going to do competition.
Yeah. But there's one or two that roll pretty hard in competition, but they don't try to bully people. Like say someone like say Ty Gately or something, he'll roll hard. He's a real nice guy.
Brendan Hughes.
Yeah, both
like
real
Brendan,
nice guys. They're like 80 kilos or so. Brendan, he does actuary or something like that. Some office job. Ty is a nurse, and they'll go and they'll roll hard, but they'll pick guys that are 10, 15, like they'll roll with Kintaris, guys that are 15, 20 kilos heavier than them, and they'll get a beating, no problem. Like, and they'll be like, oh, that was great training. They just enjoy it, like. But it's the people that are like that, and they go and pick people that are
Lesser.
20 kilos less than them.
and you see it
all
often.
the time.
Like our Tuesday, Thursday night burner here, like it's hard. Like it is hard, and it depends if there's comps coming up and with COVID. But like lads were coming to the Tuesday, Thursday. They weren't able for the sessions. Not only were they not able for the sessions,
They were able for it though if they just went at the right pace. It was they weren't able for it if they had to fucking roll like Bouchesha every minute.
Win every second of every place, which is, and then when there's a few of them there together, avoiding each other. Like it's so easy as the coach of the class just to be like, man, that chap's hiding, like you can see it, and it's almost
literally.
to call
Sometimes people hide behind mats.
Hide behind mats,
behind the blue mats. You
hide behind bags and all, and
oh god.
and
the people hiding, and then they come. So instead of doing the class, which is meant to be hard, and so everyone gets better together.
And then you're like, yeah, exactly. So everyone gets better together, and having like the 60s with the 60s to 65s together, 65, then the 70 to 75, then the 80 to 85, then the 90 to 100 or whatever, and the 90 to 100. Your man out that only wants to roll with the 60s. This kind of way. You're like, right, grand. Well, he's 100 kilo, he's 60. Then they stop coming. Then it's, oh, I'm injured. Oh, I had a long day in work and my back it's in. They're just like, right, well then why were you able to do the session for an hour and 10 minutes? It's only the last 20 that you dropped off. Because you were busting your balls the whole time and you can't physically do it. And then they keep tipping along like that. And then it's like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while on a Tuesday, Thursday. Then you look over on a Thursday.